As we cross the age of 50, the body begins to change not suddenly, but steadily. Muscle mass declines, joint cartilage thins, balance becomes more fragile, and recovery slows. One of the most important muscle groups affected by aging is the gluteal muscles. Weak glutes are not just a cosmetic issue, they are a medical concern. They directly affect posture, lower back health, knee stability, walk-in confidence, and fall prevention. For decades, squats have been promoted as the gold standard for lower body strength. However, for many adults over 50, traditional squats place excessive stress on the knees, hips, and lower spine. The good news is this: you do not need squats to build strong, functional glutes today. I want to share why 3 specific glute exercises are often safer, more effective, and more sustainable than squats for people over 50. Strong glute muscles play a central role in maintaining independence as the body ages. After the age of 50, muscle loss accelerates, particularly in large muscle groups that are responsible for stability and movement. The gluteal muscles are among the first to weaken, yet they are also among the most important. These muscles support the pelvis, control hip movement, and keep the spine aligned during everyday activities. When the glutes are strong, simple actions such as standing up from a chair, walking across a room, climbing stairs, or getting out of bed remain smooth and controlled. When they are weak, these same movements become slow, painful, and risky. Weak glutes force the body to compensate in unhealthy ways. The knees begin to absorb stress they were not designed to handle, increasing the risk of arthritis, pain, and joint degeneration. The lower back often tightens and overworks to make up for the lack of hip stability, leading to chronic back discomfort and reduced mobility. Over time, these compensations can limit activity levels, reduce confidence in movement, and increase dependence on others for daily tasks. This loss of independence often begins quietly, with small changes in posture, balance, and walking speed. Strong glutes help preserve balance and prevent falls, which are a major health concern for older adults. They provide the power needed to correct a misstep, stabilize the body on uneven surfaces, and maintain proper walking mechanics. In addition, well-functioning glute muscles improve circulation, support joint health, and reduce fatigue during daily movement. Maintaining glute strength is not about athletic performance or appearance. It is about protecting mobility, preserving dignity, and supporting the ability to live an active, self-reliant life well into later years. After the age of 50, the body's joints no longer respond to stress in the same way they once did. Cartilage becomes thinner, joint fluid decreases, and years of wear and tear begin to show, especially in the knees, hips, and lower spine. Squats, while commonly promoted as a foundational exercise, place significant compressive and shear forces on these joints. For many older adults, this load can exceed what the joints can safely tolerate, particularly when arthritis, meniscus damage, reduced ankle mobility, or spinal degeneration is present. Proper squat mechanics require adequate hip flexibility, strong core control, healthy knees, and good balance. Many individuals over 50 unknowingly lack one or more of these elements. As a result, they may lean forward excessively, allow the knees to collapse inward, or place uneven pressure through the feet. These compensations increase joint stress and elevate the risk of pain, inflammation, and injury. In clinical settings, it is common to see knee pain or lower back flare-ups. Directly linked to poorly tolerated squat patterns, pain during or after exercise should never be considered normal, especially in older adults. Discomfort is often the body's warning signal that tissues are being overloaded or movement patterns are unsafe. Persisting with squats despite joint pain can accelerate joint degeneration and discourage continued physical activity altogether. This is particularly concerning because consistency in movement is essential for long-term health. Exercise should support joint longevity rather than challenge it unnecessarily. For adults over 50, safer alternatives that strengthen the same muscle groups without excessive joint compression often provide better results. When exercises are chosen based on joint health, mobility limitations, and individual history, strength can be built without sacrificing comfort or long-term function. Targeted glute exercises play a critical role in reducing stress on the knees and lower back, particularly in adults over the age of 50. As the body ages, joints become more sensitive to improper loading, and muscles that once stabilized movement may no longer function efficiently. When the glute muscles are underactive, the knees and lower spine are forced to absorb forces they are not designed to handle. This often leads to joint pain, stiffness, and a gradual decline in mobility that can interfere with daily life. Exercises that specifically activate the glutes allow strength to be developed where it is most needed, without placing excessive pressure on vulnerable joints. Movements such as controlled hip extensions, supported step backs, and glute bridges encourage proper hip engagement while keeping the knees in a safer alignment, by focusing on the hip joint rather than deep knee bending. These exercises minimize compressive forces on the knee cartilage and reduce strain on the ligaments. This is especially important for individuals with arthritis or previous knee injuries. The lower back also benefits significantly from targeted glute training. Weak glutes often cause the lower back muscles to overwork during walking, standing, and lifting, leading to tightness and chronic discomfort. When the glutes are strengthened, they take on their natural role as the primary drivers of hip movement, allowing the spine to remain more stable and relaxed. This redistribution of workload helps reduce back pain and improves posture over time. Another advantage of targeted glute exercises is the ability to control intensity and range of motion. This allows older adults to progress gradually, building strength without triggering pain or inflammation. By strengthening the glutes directly, the body moves more efficiently, joints are better protected, and everyday movements become smoother and more confident. Balance is one of the most critical physical abilities to preserve with advancing age, and it is closely linked to the strength and function of the glute muscles. After 50, even small losses in balance can significantly increase the risk of falls, which are a leading cause of injury, hospitalization, and loss of independence in older adults. The glutes play a central role in stabilizing the pelvis and controlling the body's position during standing, walking, and sudden changes in direction. When these muscles are weak, balance becomes less reliable and movements feel uncertain. Strong glutes help the body respond quickly to unexpected challenges such as uneven ground, slippery surfaces, or sudden shifts in weight. They provide the power needed to stabilize the hips when one foot is lifted off the ground during walking or stair climbing. Without adequate glute strength, the body may rely too heavily on the lower back or knees for stability, which reduces balance efficiency and increases the likelihood of missteps. Over time, this can lead to slower walking speed, wider steps, and a fear of falling that further limits activity. Glute training also improves coordination between the hips, legs, and core muscles. This coordinated movement is essential for maintaining upright posture and controlling momentum during daily activities. As coordination improves, so does confidence in movement, allowing individuals to remain active rather than avoiding physical tasks out of fear. Regular glute-focused exercises train the body to maintain stability in single-leg positions, which closely resemble real-life movements. By strengthening the muscles responsible for pelvic and hip control, glute training enhances balance in a practical and functional way. This improved stability reduces fall risk, supports safer movement, helps older adults maintain independence and confidence in their daily lives. After the age of 50, the body's ability to recover from physical stress changes significantly. Muscles repair more slowly, connective tissues become less elastic, inflammation can linger longer than it did in earlier years. Because of these changes, recovery becomes a central factor in maintaining strength and mobility. Intense workouts that were once manageable may now lead to prolonged soreness, joint irritation, or fatigue that interferes with daily activities. Without adequate recovery, even well-intentioned exercise can become counterproductive. Many individuals believe that harder exercise always produces better results, but this approach often fails in older adults. High-intensity training places heavy demands on muscles and joints, increasing the risk of overuse injuries and discouraging consistency. When recovery is insufficient, the nervous system also becomes fatigued, leading to poorer coordination and higher injury risk. For long-term health, the goal is not to exhaust the body, but to stimulate it enough to adapt and strengthen without excessive strain. Lower impact. Targeted exercises allow the body to recover efficiently while still building strength. These movements create less joint compression and muscle damage, reducing inflammation and allowing individuals to remain active on a regular basis. Consistent. Moderate training leads to better outcomes than sporadic high-intensity sessions followed by long periods of rest or discomfort. Recovery-friendly exercise also supports better sleep, improved energy levels, and a more positive relationship with physical activity. Respecting recovery does not mean avoiding challenge. It means applying the right amount of stress at the right time. When exercise is matched to the body's recovery capacity, strength improves steadily, pain is minimized, and movement remains enjoyable and sustainable well into later life. Smart. Training becomes increasingly important with age because the body's priorities shift from short-term performance to long-term function. After 50, maintaining strength is not about lifting the heaviest weight or pushing through discomfort, but about choosing movements that protect joints, support mobility, and encourage consistency. When training is approached intelligently, strength can be preserved for decades rather than gradually lost. This approach allows the body to remain capable, resilient, and responsive to the demands of daily life. As muscles age, they respond best to controlled, purposeful movement. Exercises that emphasize proper alignment, smooth motion, and balanced muscle activation reduce unnecessary stress on joints and connective tissues. This is especially important for areas such as the hips, knees, and spine, which often show signs of wear over time. Smart training focuses on quality over quantity, ensuring that each movement contributes to stability and strength rather than fatigue or injury. Another key element of intelligent training is adaptability. The body changes over time, and exercise programs must evolve accordingly. Adjusting intensity, range of motion, and exercise selection allows continued progress without overloading vulnerable structures. This adaptability helps prevent setbacks that can interrupt activity and lead to long-term decline. Training that feels sustainable encourages lifelong participation, which is the most important factor in preserving strength. Smart training also supports mental confidence and independence. When individuals trust their bodies and move without fear of pain or injury, they remain active and engaged in life. Strength built through thoughtful, joint-respectful exercise supports posture, balance, and energy, making daily tasks easier and safer. By training with awareness and intention, strength becomes a lifelong asset rather than a temporary achievement. As we age, the goal of exercise must evolve. After 50, strength is no longer about proving what the body can endure, but about protecting what the body needs to keep moving. The glute muscles sit at the center of this conversation because they influence posture, balance, joint health, and everyday confidence. When they are strong and active, movement becomes smoother, safer, and far less painful. When they are neglected, the knees, lower back, and hips pay the price. Traditional squats are not a requirement for building lower body strength, especially for older adults. For many, they introduce unnecessary joint stress and increase the risk of discomfort or injury. Targeted glute exercises offer a smarter path forward by strengthening the same essential muscles while respecting the limits of aging joints. These movements reduce strain on the knees and spine, improve balance, and support quicker recovery, allowing consistent training without setbacks. True progress after 50 comes from choosing exercises that work with the body instead of against it. Recovery, joint protection, and movement quality matter more than intensity or heavy loading. When training is adjusted to these priorities, strength does not fade with age. It becomes more reliable, more functional, and more sustainable. This approach is not about doing less. It is about doing what is right. Strong glutes support independence, prevent falls, and help preserve the ability to move freely and confidently through daily life. With smart training choices, the body can remain strong, capable, and resilient for years to come, proving that aging does not mean giving up strength, only redefining how it is built.